Hello guys, Happy New Year, welcome to another video, and today what we're going to be doing is looking at one of my army lists for the Rad Zone Corps detachment. So this was a detachment that is basically copied from what the index rule for AdMech was, and to be honest, the kind of index army rule for the AdMech is kind of why I liked the AdMech quite a lot. Now, a lot of people were hating on it. A lot of people didn't really like the detachment rule. It's a little bit underwhelming, yeah, sure. And it's definitely an upgrade what they've done to it in the kind of codex. But I still think that the forcing your enemy to take mortals while he's just sat on his home objective is quite decent. It's forcing them to have like a larger unit back there, risking them to take mortals on something maybe they didn't want to take mortals on, and giving you that kind of edge to deep strike back and take their home objective without really having to do too much else, because they've been weakened up by this kind of army rule. So what's changed in the codex compared to the index? So now what happens at the start of the first battle round, if a unit is now standing firm, which means that they don't want to take the battle shock, they suffer D3 mortal wounds on a 3+. So this is a lot better. So it means you've thrown out more mortals more readily, a lot better. They can either stand firm and have that option, or they can take cover, which means that they're battle shocked, and then on a 5+ they take D3 mortals. So somewhere, somehow, you are getting some mortals into your enemy on the first round, which is great. Yeah, that's just for logging in. You've logged in, you came, you brought an army, and you're already dishing out mortals just on the first round. Great. And even if they choose to take cover and they all have battle shock, this is still a great bonus. This means that they can't hold the objectives, they can't use any strats, anything like that on their first turn, which is amazing. I think battle shock isn't thought about as much as it is actually quite a benefit to stop your opponent from doing stuff like scoring, like using strats on their units. That's quite a big deal. So anyway, that's just for the first round. From the second battle round onwards, anyone inside their deployment zone, any of your enemy units within your deployment zone, so not wholly within, if they've just got one boy who's like just a little bit into their deployment zone, that unit will be taking this round 2 onwards effect, which is on a 3+, suffer a mortal wound and take a battle shock test. I mean, 3+, battle shock test and a mortal for another 4 rounds on top of what you did in the first round. That's not bad, right? I don't think you're too upset. I mean, if they're sat on their home objective, deep strike some sterilizers in round 3, round 4, you take their home objective for free. They've lost out their home objective because they're battle shock. They couldn't overwatch you when you deep striked in, and now you're just firing them to pieces with your +1 on your sterilizers. So that's just the kind of detachment rule. So for enhancements, kind of aid this a lot, we've got radial suffusion. So this is 25 points, and basically what it's doing is it's increasing your opponent's deployment zone by 6 inches for your detachment rule. So this now means that 6 inches above where the deployment zone would be, if any unit is within that, again, they're now getting hit with the detachment rule. So you're actually pushing that boundary out further, taking a bit more control of that middle map, and forcing your enemy more towards you. Otherwise, they're taking more mortals, more battle shock tests, which they could possibly fail. We then have Marphonic Susurrus, I think is how you say that, for 20 points. So it's just giving your unit stealth, basically, which the whole Skitarii cohort army detachment is based around giving your whole army stealth. So I think for 20 points, that is an absolute steal of an enhancement, and really good to just throw on something you want to stick around for a while. We've then got Peerless Eradicator, which is the kind of bread and butter of what made the Index so good with the breaches, which I think is still what is really good. So this is giving the model and the unit sustained hits 1. So this is how you're able to achieve lethal and sustained hits on your breaches, making them that really scary block that your opponent's got to deal with somehow. And then for the last one, we've got Autoclavic Denunciation, which is a bit of a downgrade from what it was in the Index. So 15 points. Only the bearer has anti-inventory 2+ and anti-monster 4+, which is a bit meh. I can't really see you ever taking that over the other 3, but maybe if you had 15 points spare, you could throw that on someone somewhere. So those are the enhancements. Really good. The first 3 I think are absolutely banging. You're taking those almost every time you run this detachment. Really great. Stealth for 20 points, an extra 6 inches on your detachment rule, and then sustain hits 1 for your breaches. Beautiful. Give me that all day, every day. Next, we've got the stratagems. So for 2 CP, we've got Baleful Halo, which is basically reducing 1 from the wound roll. So when an enemy's shooting at you, or not shooting, sorry, this is in melee now. So in the fight phase, you subtract 1 from the wound roll, which, yeah, it's really had a fall from grace. It's not anywhere near as good as what it was. And for 2 CP, I can't ever see you ever using this. This is just 1. On occasion, it may come up, but I can't even see that you're having the 2 CP spare to ever waste on this. We've then got Extinction Order. So this is basically you target a objective marker within 24 inches, and then you roll a d6 for each enemy on that objective marker. On a 4+, they take a mortal wound and have to do a battle shock test. So it's basically forcing your detachment rule on an objective marker for 1 CP. It's okay. Again, I can't really see you ever using this for 1 CP. It could have a situation where you just really need to throw out 1 mortal, or you need to throw out a battle shock test, and if they fail that battle shock test, then you've won the game, kind of thing. Could be decent there, but otherwise it's not too great. The aggressor imperative for 1 CP. So with this one, what you're doing is you're basically auto advancing 6. So 1 CP, auto advance 6 inches. Not bad if you're in the Conquer imperative, where you've got your regular move, you auto advance 6 inches, and then you can still shoot. That's pretty good. 1 CP. Gonna have some use in different ways. We then have pre-calibrated purge solution. So basically re-rolling hit rolls when you're shooting into your enemy's deployment zone. Again, gonna be really good. If you've weakened your enemy with your kind of detachment rule, dropping your sterilizers in their home base, throw this 1 CP out, re-rolling hit rolls, you're going to have wiped out every of their unit holding their home objective. They're going to not score any primary for, like, hopefully, and then you just win from there. You're stopping them from getting victory points. Pretty good. We've then got what I think makes this detachment really, really good, which is lethal dosage. So pay a CP, get lethal hits. So I've been talking to some people, and I actually think that we'll go through it as we go through the list, but I actually think that taking a Dominus with your breaches instead of a Manipulus gives you infinite value compared to what the Manipulus gives to your breaches. But we'll go through that as we get to it, and it involves this stratagem for 1 CP. And then we've also got the Bulwark imperative, which is 4+ invulnerable save. Great. 2 CP, 4 up invulnerable save. most of your units have got 5 up invulnerable save anyway, so it's not really doing too hot there for 2 CP. Some of these strats have a kind of keyword where they bounce from a battle line to a nearby unit. So this one, for example, can bounce from a battle line unit to a nearby unit, which can be quite good. But I also think for 2 CP, that is a bit of a steep price you're paying for the ability to bounce it to 2 units. So next, let's go into the actual list and kind of look through what the list is giving us. So to start with, compared to the last list I just put out, you'll be surprised there's no Belisarius Call, or not surprised because I really don't think he's that great. And you'll also see here that we're at 1990 points instead of the flat 2000 like we were with the cohort Cybernetica. And I think the 10 points doesn't really matter here nor there, and we can't throw in the extra enhancement because we've already got 3 enhancements in the list. Also, please mind my writing on this. I was trying to write on the computer with my mouse to signify which character's going in which army. So to start with, we've got a Skitarii Marshal in one of the Vanguard units. This is just given that extra reroll hits as and when they might need it. You never know when you're going to pop them out of the kind of Doom Rider. Need to hit, reroll the hits, Vanguard, just kind of putting out as much as you can. We then have the Sidonian Scatros. So a lot of people hating on Mr. Stiltzman here, and I personally think that in this detachment he's going to be crazy not to put this enhancement on. So he's low NOP, so can't get hit outside of 12 inches, so you can't just get randomly taken out. And then he's going to have the radius of fusion enhancement, which is pushing out your enemy's deployment zone and how your detachment ability works extra on top of where their deployment zone is, so giving you that extra 6 inches from their deployment zone. So hopefully he's going to be staying around a lot, being able to push that zone out on turns 3, 4, 5 until you win. We've then got the 1 Dominus with the Morphonic Susurrus. So this is going into the other Vanguard unit, giving your Vanguard unit stealth, feel no pain 5+, and being inside of a Doom Rider, just going to make them really sticky, really annoying. That unit is probably staying around till about around 5, and it's going to be hard to move them. We've then also got another Dominus, which is our Warlord this time, and on this one we've taken the Peerless Eradicator. So this one is actually going with your Breacher squad. We're not putting a Manipulus with the Breacher squad, we're putting a Dominus, because as I was kind of talking a little bit about, I don't really see a point in a 20 point minus for feel no pain. Right, so your Breacher block is something that you want to keep around for as long as possible, because that is what is pumping out all of your damage. So when we're looking at a Manipulus versus a Dominus, the main difference here is that the Manipulus is giving you the straight lethal hits for the unit. The Dominus is not, but the Dominus is giving you a feel no pain 5+, and then the Manipulus is giving you a once per battle 4+ invuln save, right? So the Breachers already have a 6+ invuln save naturally, and they're saving on 3+. So unless they're being hit by something with really high AP, most of the time you're on your armor save anyway, which is a 3+, which is going to be more 4, 5, -1, -2 AP, right? Great. So we're already saving on 4, 5s. We don't need that Manipulus there to give us an invuln save of a 4+. If we ever do get pushed onto an invuln save, we've got it there. We're not just taking the wound straight away. We've got that 6+ there. And then for any wound throughout the whole game, it doesn't matter whether it's the start, whether the end, anything, you will have a feel no pain 5+ for your Breacher unit. And the only difference between a Dominus and a Manipulus is 20 points. So tell me in the description or in the comments whether you agree, but taking a Dominus for 20 more points and having a Feel No Pain and then just paying a CP on your one big breacher block when you want lethal hits to do your damage because they've actually stayed around till turn 4 instead of dying on the second battle round. You tell me what you think. You tell me whether you think it's worth it, whether I'm just wacky, whether I need to actually play the game before I start trying to build lists. Let me know in the comments. But I really think that taking a Dominus is infinite value over a Manipulus. I think that before, the Manipulus was a lot better at shooting. And then you could take Peerless Eradicator on your one unit, and then in your other unit with your Manipulus, you take the Autoclavic Denunciation. And then before, this used to be a lot better, so you were hitting on like 2+ in Overwatch, for example, and it was like ridiculous, right? You're just pumping out a lot of damage for no reason. But I really think that the Dominus needs to be a staple in that breacher block. You want that breacher block around as long as possible, and a Feel No Pain 5+ is going to put you there rather than a once a game 4+ invul. We can then go look at some of the other characters we've got. So we've got a Tech Priest Ingens here just to give us that loan op for some of our vehicles we've got on the list. We've then also got another Manipulus. So this is to actually sit with our destroyers. So I've put one unit of 3 destroyers in this as well. And what I want for these is I just want them to be screening at the back. Just screening out. Anyone tries to deep strike in on the back, you leave a little pocket nice enough for them to deep strike in. If they want to, you're overwatching, you're hitting on 5+. The Manipulus has got a nice flamer. That's going to pump out a lot of damage. So I think that's what using the Manipulus in this detachment is going to be more beneficial for. And it also then gives them those lethal hits as well. Techno-Archaeologist. This is going with your Ranger squad. I think is what that says. Yeah, Rangers. So you Techno-Archaeologist, going with your Ranger squad, giving them that +1 OC, just really trying to get the most out of the Rangers. You're sticking your home objective with the Rangers, letting the rest of your units kind of screen out, sit at the back. Techno-Archaeologists and your Rangers are then pushing up, fighting, getting your objective control turn 1, turn 2, probably dead by turn 3, but that's okay because they've done their job at that point. They've scored their points. So on to the battle line units, we have one lot of Skitarii Rangers, 2 lots of Vanguard. So I haven't actually put the weapons and everything that will be taken on the Rangers and the Vanguard. But yeah, it'll just be the standard kind of stuff. You're not taking them for shooting. They're the kind of point monkeys in this game. The Rangers are anyway, giving you that sticky home and then pushing up, getting you the rest of the objectives, doing the rest of your tacticals for you, making sure you score the points turn 1, turn 2. With the Vanguard, if you watched my previous video with the Cybernetica cohort, I really think the best thing with these is to be putting them in a Doom Rider, making them last, only pulling them out of the Doom Rider turn 3, turn 4 when they're needed. Let the rest of your army take hits and you kind of try and trade effectively, and then pull out your full unit of Vanguard to take that control, take that objective, do this secondary, do that secondary, etc, etc. You're going to have all the extra wounds of that Doom Rider and the extra saves of that Doom Rider before they can even look at touching your Vanguard unit. And then you do also have the nicety with the Doom Rider, where when you disembark out of the vehicle and you shoot at a unit the Doom Rider's shot at, you can re-roll your hit rolls, which is quite nice as well for when you do finally disembark them from the vehicle. So yeah, 2 Doom Riders for the Vanguards. One Vanguard's got the Skitarii Marshal, the other one's got the Dominus. So really, with the Malphonic Susurrus, this is really just making them as sticky as possible. We then going into our next lot of kind of our other data sheets. We're going to throw in 1 unit of Electro Priests, slowing down, then -2 to charge, advance, and movement. for getting a hit on a unit is just great. So that's a 60 point. Throw them in, see what they can do. If they can slow a unit down or stop a charge for a turn, they've already made their points back. If they don't, then they can just sit there and blast away with their fists or even screen out in the back lines. Throwing in an Iron Strider Ballistari because the points for these are just ridiculous. What they do, 7 wounds, high toughness, going to stay around for a long time. Again, can start off screening, or they can push out for your kind of secondary outer objectives or even your secondary tactical missions. We've then got a big breacher block, so 6 breachers, 6 heavy arc rifles and 6 hydraulic claws. This is what's going with the Dominus, with Peerless Eradicator, and then this is what you're doing. Every time it's your shooting phase, or sorry, your command phase, you're giving your breachers lethal dosage. You're paying that 1 CP that you get at the start of your turn, and your breachers now have lethal hits, sustained hits, just like they would normally. And all you're doing is paying that 1 CP you get at the start of your turn anyway. So I think pretty great. Obviously your main shooting unit, it does mean, however, you're spending a CP every turn on your turn to be able to shoot these guys at their full effectiveness, but you can kind of play that off as you're playing. You'll know whether you need the full firing power or whether you can hold out a little bit, so that's quite an easy decision for you to make. But your breach squad, easy peasy. We've then got our destroyers. So your destroyers, again, as I was saying, these guys are what are going to sit at the back and kind of bait out your opponent's deep strike. Your opponent wants to deep strike so they can get, 5 points on capture enemy outpost or something like that, where they have to be in your deployment zone. Okay, great, yeah, deep strike into my deployment zone. Don't worry though, my small unit of destroyers with my manipulus are sat there waiting, and they're hitting you on 5s in Overwatch. So when you do want to do that, yeah, good luck. They're going to be trying to take apart whatever your deep strike is. And obviously they've got the flamer as well as their plasma cannons. So they're just looking to put out as much as possible, basically. Sit them in the back. Any deep strike, Overwatch, they're hitting on 5s. Flamers auto hitting. You're just trying to do as much as you possibly can with that. Stop their deep strike altogether. Saves you having that kind of screen out with more units. You leave them a pocket where your destroyers can see, and then let them try and deep strike in that if they really want to, but they'll pay the price. You then also have your Scatros, your Sidonian Scatros, sat in the back as well. So he's also there helping, laying down the firepower at the back, basically. Ooh, so this is quite a long list. So we've also got another Dune Crawler. So this is with the neutron laser, and what this is going in there with your Rangers, with your Vanguard unit, giving them that 4+ to battle line, your 4 up invuln save to battle line units, making them that extra little bit tankier, just kind of tying up that middle bit. I can't really see with the Dune Crawler that you want it to be sat at the back, kind of firing down. Get that bad boy up, give your battle line units that 4+ invuln save, and just get the most out of that Dune Crawler. Just get it doing something, don't just sit it at the back. It can still shoot from where it is. Get it in, get it shooting, get it blasting, get your 4+. We then, as I was saying before, we got our 2 Taraxia units. So we've got 5 Skystalkers and 5 Sterilizers. You're dropping bombs in your opponent's deployment zone. Bang, 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 bang. Right. Their home objective, battered, bruised. They've got like half a unit, if that, left on it. The unit just failed their battle shock test on your opponent's turn. Your turn's coming up. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to drop my Skystalkers in deep strike straight into their deployment zone. Damn. In they go. Clean off the objective. They've got the shoot, move, shoot and move. So they got move, shoot, move. Get them on your opponent's objective. Get 3 points. Stop your opponent from scoring the points. Easy peasy. Oh, sorry, what? Your opponent had to come back and try clear off your Skystalkers? Oh, okay. Don't worry. I got my Sterilizers. Drop your Sterilizers in next turn. because your opponent then had to come back, they've just taken another round of radial bombardment. Sterilizers come in, flamers do their job, wipe up, get back that objective. Your opponent then doesn't have a home objective. Goodbye. So we've got kind of what would be our first wave of taking the hit now. So Cerberus Raiders, Cerberus Sulphur Hounds. So with your Raiders, getting them up, kind of one of your outer objectives that you're trying to take, get them up, get them taking that objective, nice easy peasy. They've got that free scout move, and they've also got that reactive move when your opponent moves within 9 inches of them. Nice to kind of play cat and mouse with your opponent, kind of keep them away. Again, using them as that kind of first wave of taking the hit of your opponent to try trade effectively against. We've then got the Cerberus Sulphur Hounds. So these are just throwing out bonus mortals. So these are kind of first to second wave as well. These are going in with probably your rangers or something like that, trying to throw out as much mortals as possible before they die. Try to tie your enemy up, just get them involved. Big bases, a lot of space to block. Nicely done. We've then got the Sicarian Infiltrators, brilliant unit, 70 points, infiltrate ability, and then they've also got force your opponent to take a battle shock test. Boom. Oh, sorry, that one unit that you brought out that didn't take a battle shock on round 1. Oh, do a battle shock again. Oh, fail it this time? Okay, great. Now that unit can't do anything. No OC, no nothing. Goodbye. You have just lost your whole round 1, maybe even round 2. Easy. That's what they're there for. First wave. And we've got the Taser Chicken. Again, just great for the points. Throw him in, get him charging, get him doing a tank shot, get him just absolutely blasting. Easy peasy. Tying up a lot of stuff, doing a lot of damage where he can, trading efficiently. And then finally, we've got the Calidus Assassin. Again, as I've been saying, kind of a must pick in your AdMech army because it's just such a good unit. Vecting, deep striking, picking up at the end of your opponent's turn. Really just amazing unit. 90 points, and really not too bad in the shooting or fighting department either. But yeah, guys, that was pretty much it for this video. Let me know what you guys think. Do you agree with this list? What would you change about this list? I know some of the writing's a bit hard to understand. It's been quite a long video. I do appreciate that. If you need to go back, rewatch anything, make sure you do. If you've got any questions, drop them in the comment section. I'll try to reply to them as fast as possible. I know there'll probably be some comments based around my Dominus over Manipulus pick, and then throwing my Manipulus into my destroyers. But I think I've explained it quite well, and what I really want to do with this army. Now, by the time I get my army, this list might be kind of outdated, not as good. Some data changes might have happened, but this is just going to be a first look what I intend to do if I had my army right now, what I'd be playing. So thank you guys for watching. This has been another army list video. Peace.